All right, guys, we're back. The Throne Bros, another episode, uh, episode 7 of the season, House of the Dragon, and everything so far is leading up to the finale. This whenever you're watching this, some of this drops Saturday right before the episode. So tomorrow or whenever you watch the episode, you'll see the finale. We'll see the finale, and we'll find out some things, But let's talk about what happened in this episode. Got the 3 hour Raven with me, like always, and he's here to shed some light on everything that happens here and things that might be happening, as you
You
know.
already know. I'm here to guide the people,
That's
so
right.
they don't get lost in this journey. It's a lot going on, but I'm here.
Yeah,
Welcome back to, new listeners, old listeners. Keep listening, subscribing, liking, sharing. You know the deal.
yeah, that's right. All right, so episode 7 was called the Red Sowing. Um, Obviously, we kind of hinted at it from last episode how it ended and how it was going to start. It starts right where we thought it was. It was Rhaenyra meeting Adam of Hall at the beach, and she confronts him. So it was a cool scene, both dragons behind each
Yo,
other.
I wonder if the hall part is kind of like the
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 bastard part?
snow. You know how they do use like the
Yeah.
the last name like for the
Is
bastard. I
that
wonder
the
if
thing
Hall
of
is like the
Driftmark?
Driftmark version. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My bad.
No, no, you're good. I
Yeah,
was thinking of the same thing. Um, they have a confrontation. He quickly bends the knee. He says he wants to learn to be a dragon rider and wants to obey her. Which she questions at first. She's like, you're doing this too, quickly, whatever. And she kind of tries to get some info on his family. And he's like, which he,
yeah.
he kind of omits. He's like, I don't know my father, but my mother was something, you know.
I'm surprised he didn't say it. Like
Yeah.
I thought, cause he's the one out of the two brothers like
Who
that kind of
wants
wants.
the
Yeah,
validation from
yeah,
Corliss. Yes. Yeah. All right. So that happens. They earn on good terms, and she's like, can you get sea smoke over to Dragonstone?
yeah.
Um, Goes to King's Landing. Allison's getting patched up because she got a little cut from that leaving the church with a little, the people going crazy. And she's talking to the maester. She's kind of down. Like, well, no, she is. She's not kind of. She is down. She's talking about like uh, all these years of serving, and then they throw you away. So she's really bummed by Damon's actions and how he kicked
Amen,
her.
amen.
Amon, sorry, yeah, I always do
Yeah.
that with them too. Yeah, Amon and Damon, they're like the same person. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Um, yeah. Anything else from that?
No, no, that was it wasn't much.
Uh,
Yeah, it's kind of filling. We could move on.
she gets done getting patched up. She goes to her Kingsguard that's assigned to her, and he says she wants to go out. Obviously, he asks like, "Should I get your handmaiden and all that?" And she's like, "No, just me and you, like just me
Okay.
alone." And she goes out. Um, then it goes out to I guess the court, the little not the court, but like the courtyard, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think
Um,
courtyard.
and Laris is sitting there watching some guys that are getting sent to the wall by Aemon. Um,
Oh,
and
so those are actually Aegon's friends.
really,
The ones that like they were, like chilling with him, like that were kind of part of his guard.
oh, okay, so like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ones that like took him out that one night, and like,
yeah. That
oh,
was
so
them.
Aemon's getting rid of like the allies of
Yeah.
his brother. Okay, all right. So he's sending them to the wall, and Laris is watching this happen, and up comes I always forget his name.
Well, I just looked it up. His name is Jasper Wild. They
Okay,
call him Iron Rod.
I mean he was wild. Um, but in comes the other uh small council member who I always forget his name, but he's always talking. Um, he comes up next to Laris, and they start talking.
Yeah, yeah, I just said his name, bro.
Oh, all right, yeah,
Jasper Wild.
okay, that's a while. There you go. I thought you were talking about Aegon's friend, but
No, 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 no. I,
okay,
I I don't know their names, but the
yeah,
guy that's on the council, that his name is Jasper Wild.
yeah. So Jasper comes in. He's talking to him. He's like, I heard a little something. He's trying to tell Laris, and Laris is like, I can give you this. He's trying to get something, basically sell something to Laris because he's like, then you and Damon could be on good, Aemon can be on good terms and whatever. And then like, kind of Laris is like, who did you hear from? And then he's like, I heard it from this person, who heard it from this person, who heard it from this person, who heard it from the person who saw it. So
Yeah.
like Laris is kind of like, yeah, keep that to yourself. Let that be like the rumor. Like
Yeah.
Laris didn't find it interesting, I guess, or maybe it is part of his plan not to let him know. Like,
Oh,
what's going
true. Because he's kind of rolling with Aegon.
on?
Yeah.
He don't
So
like he don't like Aemon because Aemon's like calling him out as bullshit. So he's trying to, and we will see later on in this episode some things that would suggest that obviously.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that conversation happens. We go back to Dragonstone as Rhaenyra and Adam are pulling up. You see Jace kind of watching. Jace has been uneasy about everything recently. Um, Corlys and the rest of the council are going into the meeting. They get informed that there's a new rider. He's here. Um, the council kind of questions it, like, who is it? Like, we can't just have people riding dragons. Like,
Well,
or
they tell him. They tell Corlys that he's part of. They heard he's part of his
yes,
crew.
he's part of his crew. And then like the one guy questions it because he's like, we can't just have anybody be a rider and things like that. So then they asked where the queen is. She decided not to go to the meeting, let them talk it out. She went to her room, which this is the next scene is her and Massaria.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Massaria are talking. Obviously, they have like a new relationship or whatever. I mean, they haven't shown them do anything besides after that kiss. It doesn't matter, but they've become closer. Um, she's talking to her basically about like the Adam thing and what happened, how he just said I'll be with you or whatever. And basically, they're talking about the fact that like the plan, how are we gonna get these riders? She's desperate for riders, and basically they kind of settle on because Massaria basically says like, in my workings, I've met through the years so many people who were bastards, basically of
Yeah.
your kin, like I mean, whoever it may be, maybe not her father, but somebody else, her grandfather, like all that. So basically, that kind of starts the idea that will later be go into fruition. Um, Corliss goes to see Adam, you know what I mean, and they talk. Adam kind of asks him, like, I wish to leave my post, you know what I mean, and he's like, it's granted. And in a way, I mean, I kind of got this, which I kind of felt it when I saw it, but I kind of got this from like the after the episode talk with the producer or whatever.
Mm.
But in a way, without actually saying it, Corliss kind of told him like he was proud of him
Yeah.
by, by
Yeah.
saying, well done. He told him like, well done. Like,
Well, honestly, I think it's on Corliss's part. You know how he was always like proud about the histories and Driftmark and passing that along. Like I think like since now like he's a dragon rider, they might elevate his status and make him like an actual Valyrian, like recognize him. And now he has somebody that he can put on the pass down Driftmark too. So I think that's why he was happy.
yeah. See, finally kind of saw worth, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
there. Um, so that ends with him telling him, well done. We go to Harrenhal. Damon is the Lords of the Riverlands have come with Mr. Tully, little Tully, the new uh the new leader at River Run, the new king, or I mean, yeah, you know what I mean, guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Um, he comes in to talk to Damon at first. They have a conversation where Damon is kind of aggressive, kind of asking like, "Are you here?" Like, and he kind of like, "My man is stepping up for himself, even though he's young." I did like that. He was kind of like, "Yeah, like I mean, we're the Riverlands, and we're gonna stand by the oath because we're loyal people. The oath that we made to Viserys, to acknowledge his his predecessor, the Queen Rhaenyra. So like, the rest of the lords, he tells them they're uneasy, which we come strong. My man Strong comes in and says they're waiting outside. We go outside and they have questions. My man, obviously as their leader of the Riverlands, Tully steps up, does a speech, tells them, we we gotta go by our oath. That's just, I'm new, but you gotta trust me, and we're gonna do what we've always done, stay true to our oath. And obviously he throws out there the funny part where he's like, I don't like Damon either. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And he has done some like effed up things, which Damon kind of reacts like, watch it. Like, I'm like,
Nah,
so,
but one thing about this thing, he actually Damon actually admits he was like, yeah, my ways were kind of a bit aggressive, like so he actually
yeah,
admits like he fucked up.
yeah. So, um, basically, the Lords of the Riverland have like a little kind of discussion in front of Damon. Obviously, reluctantly, they go by their oath, obviously. But then before that happens, my man Blackwood has to face the 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 court basically of the lords, and they basically like want justice because they didn't like the way he went about it. And Blackwood was begging Damon to help him because he was like, I did this for you, like
Yeah.
at the end. And Damon ends up taking his head at the
Yeah.
request of the lords.
So so one thing, I gotta give props to my man Tully. He confronted Blackwood and he was like, listen, like you did this because you wanted to. Like you could have done this and you didn't have to be so savage about it. Like, but this is what you wanted. Like so, the Tullys, got some Catlin in there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's how that ends. It goes into, I think it's right away, but it goes into another one of his dreams, visions, whatever. Right after he does the thing, the beheading, it goes into a vision where he runs into Viserys in his last days by his bedside with the crown in his hand. Basically, Viserys just tells him like, "I never wanted it. I never wanted what comes with it. You know what I mean? The agony, whatever, all the suffering and all that. You've always wanted it. Do you want it? You know, and that's
no, no,
basically,
no. So what we need to bring up right here, right?
yeah, that's why you
So
here.
what?
I said that's why you here. Yeah,
Yeah, what we need to discuss about this scene right here. Viserys tries to hand Damon the crown and ask him, "Hey, you always wanted it. Do you want it?" But if you notice, Damon didn't grab for it. Damon would had like a face like he was kind of like what? Like kind of
yeah,
like I don't
shocked.
know. I don't know like I don't know if I want this basically. So we kind of see, Damon.
Uh,
It could be Heron Hall that's kind of fucking
Getting
with
to
him.
him,
Yeah, but we kind of see Damon's kind of like,
having second thoughts.
yeah, the
Do
more he
against
sees
that.
these visions, the more like, the battles continue and stuff. Like he's kind of seeing like, all right, well, maybe I might not want this, but yeah, that's just something I wanted to point out.
Yeah, good point. We go to King's Landing. Aegon is doing some rehab with the Grand Maester. He's getting him to walk around. Obviously, we know he has that bum leg, like the broken leg. We knew it was bro. We saw it. So he was doing some exercises with the Grand Maester, which obviously Aegon's in pain, so he's struggling. Laris walks in and helps. He tells the Grand Maester, like I told you, can't do this alone. You got to let me know. Like I'll help. Obviously, this is what I'm talking about. The interest of Laris is with Aegon, so he
Yeah,
keeps warning Aegon about you know stay stay tight. Don't let your guard down and stuff
yeah.
like that. And like
He
basically,
he tells him he's like, yo, you're making a speedy recovery, but you need to work harder.
yeah. And then basically he has to talk with the Grand Maester, like you got to keep pushing him because my man wants him back.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, like
Hmm.
so there's the the interest of Laris that we were just talking about.
No.
Um, we go to the Vale real quick after that. See Raina and the kids leaving.
No, no, no. We missed so we get Corliss speaks with
Yes, okay,
Alan.
yeah, you're right.
Corliss speaks with Alan and kind of ask him to do the job to find boats and like people he
Yep.
trusts, captains he trusts for the mission that
Yeah, for the
Rhaenyra
mission that
wants
Rhaenyra
to
wants to
set out.
do, and basically, like the last part of the conversation, he tells him like that Adam's the new dragon rider,
Yep.
like, and basically, he kind of says like my brother's always been ambitious,
Hmm.
like about you know certain
Yeah.
things, and then he kind of swears loyalty to Corliss, which might have made Corliss proud too. We just don't like kind of see it. Like
Well, it
does
was
have a
his answer.
reaction.
It was his answer. He
Yeah,
said,
he says
"I'm
I'm a salt and
yeah."
sea. So
But if you remember, like I don't remember if it was the last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago. But when Reyna was speaking with Corliss, she said, "Oh, I'm blood and fire. You know, Driftmark must pass to Salt and Sea."
yes,
So now, we see Alan saying,
got his
"Yeah, I'm Salt and
sons. I
Sea."
think he got his sons. I don't know if it'll be by the end of the season, but they might be not of Hall anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, Corliss might be getting what he wants now that unfortunately there's no his grandkids are, more the dragon side, and then you know what I mean. So, yeah. Then we get to Raina and the kids leaving the Vale. Raina's kind of taking her time. She's at the end because she's curious, and we see that she just sneaks off to the side. She goes looking for this dragon that,
Yeah.
um, this dragon that has been in the Vale.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, she.
So
Go ahead.
so I want to bring up something. We spoke off camera about you know, a possible dragon rider, right? So in the
Yes.
book, there's another dragon rider that's a girl, and right now it's looking. I think to your point, it is looking like Reina might be that next dragon rider, which is different than the book. There's a different
Yeah.
character that claims that dragon, but right now it is looking like it's leaning towards Reina.
Yes, like I mean, I think it's late to like off the air conversation. I think it's gonna late for them to introduce that new character. I feel like they've
Mhm.
always done a good job of even just showing
Just like a glimpse, yeah.
like a glimpse, like they've done with Hugh Hammer. We've
Mhm.
always hinted at it. You have the 3 hour Rabbit hinted at it since he first showed up. So like, like we know if something happens with them, like we already kind of know a little bit about them.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I think she's gonna find it. It'll be next episode. It's gotta be. I
Yeah.
mean, um, after that, Allison's out of the castle in the woods riding a horse. She's with Sir Rickard, I believe is his name. He kind of is at camp because they set up camp. It's just them two, like we discussed. And he kind of asks, like, "Are you ready to go back?" And she kind of is like, "Nah, like I don't think so." So, but she said she's done for the night, so she was going to like sleep. So Allison at the moment has no intention of going back.
Yeah.
Uh, I think this might have been the most powerful scene of the episode to me.
Hmm.
We get Jace confronting his mom about the plan, about the whole getting bastards, because the plan was kind of out there, like that was going to be the plan. They're going to go to King's Landing and recruit bastards of the Targaryens. And Jace didn't like it. Jace, you know, kind of thought the same thing the one Lord said in the meeting, like you can't just have anybody climb on the thing. Like, what about it being noble? And like, if anybody could climb on a dragon, then that means like, what happens if that anybody wants to be the king? Like, we can't have that. They have a little back and forth, and then Jace questions his mom, about his father and the fact, like, Jace is older since last season. Obviously, time has gone by, so he's speaking up about it. Or you know what I mean, like have you, when you took, I forget his first name, but Strong to bed, like, were you thinking of this? And basically questioning his mom, like, did you think of this before you did this? And now, like, if you bring basically all these bastards around, what does it say about me? Like, because we all know, I'm not stupid. We all know that I'm not. you know, I'm not the son of who we're saying it's going to be. You know what I mean? So that was pretty good. I don't know if you got something to add to that.
Well, yeah, so in this scene, we kind of see Jace kind of worried. I w- I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, so like you said, like, if any bastard can pop up and claim this dragon, right? He's obviously going to be elevated in his status, right? So it's gonna it's gonna question his legitimacy, to be in the air.
Yeah.
That's why Jace asked her, like, all right, well, when you die, what happens? Like,
Yeah.
so we kind of see him like kind of worried a little bit, because you know it's just, especially if you're giving these people dragons, right? They could
Yeah.
they could start
That's the most
fighting, and
power at that time was
yeah,
having a dragon. Yes.
exactly. Like, these people could try to fight Jace for his spot, next up for the throne. So that's why, he kind of was, confronting Rhaenyra about that. He's
Yeah.
kind of worried. He doesn't want to lose that spot, knowing, what's at stake and everything.
Yep. All right. Next we have Massaria giving Alan the message. And then it goes into the scene of him handing the message to the next person. Then it get into the handmaiden who has purposely been staying in King's Landing, and she goes out and she spreads the message like wildfire. Um, the whole town is buzzing about it. We get a scene at the pub, or the inn or whatever you want to call it, with Ulf and his friends, and they're like, Ulf, they're looking for dragon riders, and Ulf kind of seems like all this talk he's been talking about. Yeah, I'm a Targaryen. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? And he seems a little scared, like, like anybody would be, because dragons. Like I said, the most power in this time is the dragons. Obviously, in the modern time, the most power was we got money, because the dragons were gone. But now in this time, the dragons were still the form of power, which is how the Targaryens kept the power, obviously, um, and were able to rule. He's kind of reluctant. His friends kind of talk him into it. They get a chant going in the thing, and they bow around. Um, then the next thing we get Hugh talking to his wife. His wife's like, "Don't go," like, and he's telling her like, "I got to do something." It's kind of like his sentiment of like, "I got to do something. I failed. Our daughter died," and then he also kind of explained his lineage, and he told his wife like, "I've never talked about it, but my mom was a whore, basically, and I was ashamed of it, but she always used to tell me that I was that Damon and Viserys were no better than he was." Is something his mom used to tell him, even though he was ashamed of his mom. So basically, he is the brother of Damon and Viserys. He is Rhaenyra's uncle, technically. But since he's a bastard, like back then, we don't claim it. But yes, and so is Ulf, right? Technically, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Off is Jair's bastard too. So
yeah,
yeah, they're all brothers.
yeah. So there you go. So basically, this leads to the next scene is all the bastards leaving in the boats. You see Alan waiting for them at a certain, wherever they were picking them up. And
I guess the Blackwater Bay, I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's happening at the crack of dawn or at night. But next we get Allison in the woods, just kind of walking, just I don't know, just in her feelings in her head, like just emotionless, I guess.
Yeah,
She walks to like this lake, and just ends up getting in it, and she's just kind of floating, I guess you could say, like looking up at the sky.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I
Like,
mean, not much to it. I guess there's
yeah,
you might be able to find something to read into that, but I guess she just kind of. I guess you could say like what you can get out of it is like maybe she feels like she lost her purpose because
yeah,
she got kicked out because we know she was complaining to the Grand Maester about like you do all this and then they get kick you out.
yeah. I thought she just needed alone time. I guess. This is like her spa day.
Yeah,
I guess.
a week. Fortnite,
Yeah,
whatever. You don't know
yeah,
how much time is going by though.
true. We don't know. Yeah.
So, all right, next, the bastards arrive at Dragonstone. Rhaenyra goes to meet them, and she is confronted by the Dragon Keepers, which they basically confront her and said, it was already it was already dumb that you tried to get Sir Duncan Ducklin, yeah, Duncan
Darkland.
Darklin to do it, and she was
Yes,
like, well, he was a
said
yeah
Duckland.
yeah that guy. Um, that's a new other lord. He's in the Riverlands, the Ducklin. Get it, guys. No,
Yeah.
bad joke. Um, um, she tried to tell him he was a noble, blood, like he's, you know what I mean? And they're like, it doesn't matter. This is an abomination. They kind of just go off on her like, this isn't right. The dragons are the last magic of Valyria. That's what the head guy says. And we're not going to take part in this because this is, you know, the dragons are being used for the games of humans, basically, is what he basically says. And they walk out. So they want no part of this.
Yeah.
Um,
Went on strike.
yeah, basically. Rhaenyra comes in. She kind of says a little bit of words to the bastards that are sitting there, and she kind of warns them about, hey, you know, this is dangerous. You gotta know what's coming. But if you succeed, then you'll be serving me basically. And then we get in to the dragon pit entrance. The bastards are there. Rhaenyra summons the Bronze Fury, Vermithor, who looks better on the when he gets outside.
This is a cool ass scene right
It
here.
is.
Yeah.
Did you see? All right, I'm gonna bring it up, and then like I don't know how much time we got left, but anyway, this is basically the final scene to an extent. There's like two more scenes, but they're quick. Um, so this is. I thought it was a cool scene too, right? So she summons Vermithor. She says it in Valyria, like really. It's a cave, so like even though she might have said it sounds like she said it soft, it echoes, so that's how like the dragons will hear it. And he just kind of comes out of the shadow. He's there. She's telling him, Lakiri, like and
You
telling him to
calm
serve.
down. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He kind of calms down, puts down his head. She touches him, obviously, because she's a Targaryen. But and I think they did this purposely. Like there's a camera on her face as she's touching him, or finally touches him, and he's calm. And it's like this, like I don't know how to explain the look. When I saw it, like I thought it was like, oh, like
You talking about when they close their eyes?
no, no, like when she opened her eyes, like and like after
Oh,
like
like the smirk kind of she
yeah,
put
like the
on. Yeah,
smirk, like it was like all right, like
it's like it's powerful. It's a powerful moment.
yeah, like he's on my side, like you know what I mean, like I
Yeah.
have this weapon aside from mine, so hopefully like this pans out kind of like this smirk, like all right, he calmed down. Let's see like what happened. So she kind of turns around, tells them, but
So when she turns around, I don't know if anybody peeped this. Listeners, viewers, if you peep this, let us know. But when she turns around, that's the that's the poster for the show.
uh,
Rhaenyra with the dragon right behind her. But I'm pretty sure, like for the first season, it was young Rhaenyra.
yeah,
But with the shot, it was grown Rhaenyra. But it's still like the same shot that like for the poster of the show
yeah,
with her and Vermithor. Like that shit was
yeah,
hard.
Vermithor. And so she basically turns around and tells him, "Hey, who's first? You know what I mean? You got to do it." This very scared person steps up. Vermithor is playing nice. A little. He didn't play as nice as Sea Smoke. He wasn't like trying to like
Yeah,
lure them and like trick them. But yeah. So basically, Vermithor's like, nah, bruh. Like, and
yeah,
just starts going off.
yeah.
Rhaenyra had moved up to like the second floor of like balcony that you can see kind of like into the dragon pit, and she's watching this happen. Her King's Guard's like, we gotta go, and she's like, no, like I gotta watch this. Basically madness happens. The bastards are running around getting filleted. I mean, well, flamed. eating. Off kind of stumbles on the side of the platform, ends up
Yeah,
at the bottom of the pit. So does Hugh. Hugh ends up at the bottom of the pit. They're running around, and Hugh has a moment. There's this girl, basically probably one of his sisters that he doesn't know he has. Like, yeah, like
yeah, yeah.
um Vermithor's about to get her, and Hugh's like, hey, like gets his attention,
Yeah,
and like you can see Vermithor like does like he wants to do something because you could see the flames like getting in his mouth, but he's
yeah,
like, hey, like gets his attention, but he's like he's not as like fast to do it, which allows Hugh to like he lets out like this scream, like this, I guess you could say a roar, and then
yeah,
he just
mhm,
puffed out his chest, and I guess that convinced Vermithor, like, all right, this
yeah.
guy,
It's like he's not really intimidated, you know?
yeah, like whatever fear there wasn't there. My man said the
Yeah,
thing. Vermithor calmed down, closed his mouth, like just kind of got a little lower with the head and like closer. And obviously, they don't show him mount her, but that basically means that.
yeah,
Then we go to Ulf, who just kind of went off into the cave. He ends up stepping on a thing of eggs. Uh, looks like it was poop, but it's not. It's like this thing, like,
yeah, it's, like, covered,
yeah,
yeah,
and whatever. And he doesn't know. He kind of turns around. There's a dragon, and this interaction was kind of funny. So Silverwing, we don't know a lot about these dragons, but Silverwing, I guess, might have not been one of the aggressive ones. Obviously,
yeah,
dragons are anyway, but Silverwing seemed to be like playful, and like it didn't take much. Like Ulf thought he was done. He kind of just closed his eyes, like, here I go. And Silverwing's just kind of like playing with him, and then like he mounts her,
yeah,
obviously. And we know that he mounts her because the next scene, there is a meeting with Laris and Ironhide or whatever his name is.
Wild, Sir Wild.
Sir Wild, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then they're having a meeting with Eamon at the small council, just them two. And as they're talking, they're basically telling him like, Darren's coming, your
Yeah,
brother's coming. Like,
and he mentions that, he's taking flight, so
yes.
he's flying with his dragon, so
And his dragon is pretty. I already saw it in the preview. Like
mhm,
people might not see it because they're just like, oh, another dragon. But Darren's dragon, we can spoil it. It's blue, like bluish.
yeah.
And like they just showed a quick scene. We'll see it more because obviously in the preview, saw
I
the
haven't
preview, he's
seen
gonna
it,
be involved.
yeah,
But
but yeah,
it, as it's going, Eamon, you can hear ruckus outside, and Eamon's like kind of getting like starting to realize, all right, people are ruckusing outside, like what's going on? And he just kind of looks outside and realizes people are screaming, "There's a dragon!" It was Silverwing with off, looking all crazy, like having a good time but scared at the same time because he doesn't
yeah,
know what he's doing. He's just out there, and then so Eamon hops on a horse, goes to Vagar because Vagar's not in the cave. He's just chilling, blending in because like
yeah,
Vagar's
in a field
camouflages.
somewhere.
Yeah, he just camouflages Vagar. So he gets on Vagar. He kind of starts chasing. Well, he not kind of. He did starts chasing off, and decides to turn around. Decides against it because he realized what he saw. And like when he turned around, he looked back, and we get a cool scene where we see Rhaenyra standing there watching him retrieve. We see behind her, it's Dreamfire. Is that no Cyrex, right? It's hers.
Her dragon?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Cyrax.
Cyrex. We see the Bronze Fury looks so better outside of the cave.
Mhm.
Like, and then you see Ulf and Silverwing, they kind of post up on top of the castle. It's a pretty cool. Like, if you just take a picture, like once Silverwing gets on the castle, and then like Damon's looking back, she's kind of looking. The dragons are doing they're roaring because like we're here, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And it was a
mhm,
cool ending to the episode, honestly. Uh,
yeah,
and so yeah, like episode 8 is coming up. Like I said, we'll see Darren. We just it's not a spoiler if you saw the thing and you saw what they were saying to Eamon before that in that last scene. Darren's coming. Eamon's little brother. He's coming from, he was with his, not with his grandfather, but he was where the Greens are from, the Allison's family's from, the
Yeah.
Hightowers. And then, we'll see. I can say this from the preview. They do show a scene in the preview where Eamon's asking Helena, like, you need to get on what's it called? I need you to get on her dragon. I forget her name. I think that's Dreamfire, ain't it? I think her dragon's
It
Dream.
might be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
we
me
need you to get on Dreamfire and fight. Which she kind of looks like when he tells her in that quick scene that they show. She kind of looks like, huh? Like, like I'm not gonna get on there. Like, that's kind of like
yeah.
the look on her face. Like, and
It
then
was Dreamfire.
yeah, and then obviously we know Darren's gonna be around. Obviously we'll get, hopefully, I think it'll happen. We'll get the Reina. I don't want to call it discovery, but we'll get the Reina final verdict
Yeah.
of, like, if she's gonna get a dragon. I think it will be, and then we'll see what happens. There could be a few things that happen, but we don't want to spoil it. But I don't think the big one is gonna happen tomorrow night, as obviously as we're recording this. In this finale, but something is gonna happen. But I don't think it's, like I said, the big one. Not to get our listeners all like crazy, but yeah,
So
those are my
so yeah,
final thoughts heading into the final episode.
word. So yeah, we're gonna see Darren finally. I think we finally see Otto again.
Yeah,
Um I think we might hear from the Triarchy. They might make an appearance. I think we need to keep an eye out for Jace. You know, there's something big that happens with Jace, uh, and it's coming up. So
that's what I think. That's what I think is.
just keep a lookout.
That's what I think will happen in eight. The big one is not the Jace. Whatever
Oh
is
yeah,
going on
yeah,
with Jace. I don't think that other
yeah.
thing is
So
gonna happen.
also the Reina thing also I think might happen as well.
Yes.
So
So yeah, looking forward to the end. I think there will be a battle. Obviously, like you said, Darren's supposed to get involved in a battle.
yeah,
So that's where we'll see him, because I mean, once again, I keep talking about the preview. The way the preview talks, there's like they show like a little like monologue that Cole, like a conversation Cole's telling somebody, I guess his people, before the
yeah,
battle. And he's talking about how, like, we're, the dance of dragons, and like we're just the people under them, the dust under them, because the people get fried up and get turned into dust. And
yeah,
like, he's getting ready to go out. So obviously there's a battle coming. Um, and that's where I think Darren makes his first appearance, and then we'll see from there. Uh, and then
yeah,
there might be, even though we're hinting at something like a big something, there might be another development to end the season as well. Not something like big, but something in King's Landing maybe that we might encounter. So we got to be aware of that. But I look forward
yeah.
to it. It's going to be a fun episode 8 finale. Uh, the season's been great so far. I don't want to act like we're saying goodbye. We'll be back next week, and then you know do a wrap after that. So we're not going to be done next week. We're going to have another one. So we'll be here even after for a little bit. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. What's up? Let's say you, 3 Hour Raven.
That's everything. Keep on the lookout for the information we provided,
Yeah, and
because it's gonna be a good episode.
with that I say,
I watched you send it.
Yeah.